A sudden flash breaks across the horizon, the kind that tells you something big has shifted long before any official announcement. Reports start pouring in from multiple directions, each more shocking than the last. Russian units pulling back, defensive lines collapsing, and Ukrainian paratroopers advancing with unprecedented speed. But the moment that turns whispers into shockwaves is when analysts confirm what had seemed impossible just weeks earlier. Putin has ordered a retreat from the Pokrovsk axis, leaving an estimated 170 Russian troops cut off, stranded, and scrambling for escape routes as Ukrainian forces close in. The battlefield map is changing faster than anyone expected, and the world is watching in disbelief. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Conflict Front Stories channel. Please subscribe and like my videos so you don't miss any updates from the front lines and global conflicts shaping our world. Today's story dives deep into a turning point that could redefine the entire war: Ukrainian paratroopers liberating Pokrovsk and the consequences of a retreat that Moscow did not plan for. Let's break down what happened, why it matters, and what it could mean going forward. The exterior scene opens with drone footage sweeping across the outskirts of Pokrovsk. Abandoned trenches stretch for kilometers, the lay out a chaotic puzzle of rushed positions and half-built fortifications. Vehicles sit deserted, some with engines still warm, suggesting soldiers left in a hurry. Ukrainian airborne units move tactically through the area, clearing positions with discipline and precision. You can almost feel the tension mixed with determination. This wasn't just another advance. It was a breakthrough that had been months in the making. Interior updates from the Ukrainian command centers describe the atmosphere as focused but electric. Officers track each platoon's movement on digital maps, verifying liberated streets one by one. The reports coming in are surprisingly consistent. Resistance is collapsing faster than expected. Russian command seems fractured, and frontline units are unsure whether to stand, retreat, or surrender. The short interior notes paint a picture not of triumphalism, but of cautious coordination. High command knows that rapid advances can turn into traps if the enemy regroups. Back on the exterior frontline, paratroopers set up positions on rooftops, scanning the area for any hidden threats. Civilians, those who remained, peek from windows or slowly step outside, shocked to see Ukrainian soldiers instead of Russian patrols. The liberation of Pokrovsk had symbolic weight far beyond its geographic location. It represented the unraveling of a front that Russia had declared unbreakable. The paratroopers move respectfully, aware of the trauma residents have endured, offering brief reassurances as they pass. Interior communications between brigades reveal how unexpected this collapse was. They had prepared for heavy resistance, for street-to-street battles, for days of grinding. Instead, they encountered pockets of disorganized defense, scattered groups unsure of their chain of command. Officers remark in clipped, short updates that intercepted communications indicate confusion among Russian units who believed reinforcements were coming, reinforcements that never left their bases. The realization is clear. The retreat order came abruptly, and entire battalions never received a plan for withdrawal. Exterior scenes now shift deeper into the liberated area. Ukrainian engineers transport equipment to dismantle mines, open corridors, and secure roads. They mark safe routes for upcoming phases of the operation. Paratroopers raise a small Ukrainian flag atop a damaged government building, a gesture not for cameras or announcements, but for the people who had endured occupation. Dust hangs in the air, footsteps echo through empty streets, and the advancing soldiers continue to push forward methodically. Interior sources admit that this momentum is rare and fragile. They emphasize how quickly situations can reverse if mismanaged. A few words exchanged quietly between commanders highlight how carefully every unit must move. Logistics teams must keep pace, communications must remain stable, and every liberated area must be secured before the next step. Even amid success, discipline remains the priority. The exterior battlefield expands westward. The real shock lies not only in Pokrovsk's liberation, but in the implications. 170,000 Russian troops positioned across the region now find themselves increasingly isolated. Satellite imagery reveals long lines of vehicles attempting to reposition. Bridges behind them are damaged, supply routes disrupted, and Ukrainian artillery is striking key choke points. Analysts note that such a high number of troops being cut off is not just a tactical issue, it's a strategic crisis that Moscow did not anticipate. Interior briefings between Ukrainian generals and advisors describe the situation carefully. They avoid overconfidence but acknowledge what a rare opportunity this is. One general states that the focus is not on encirclement for symbolic victory, but on dismantling combat capacity and forcing disorganized retreats. Short but firm messages emphasize humanitarian corridors for civilians, coordination with international monitors, and protection of non-combatants in the area. Exterior scenes show Russian trenches now occupied by Ukrainian soldiers, who inspect captured documents, maps, and equipment. Some positions appear hastily abandoned, with personal items left behind, a sign of how unplanned the retreat truly was. Ukrainian paratroopers advance further, securing intersections and systematically clearing the outskirts. Combat drones scan from above, searching for any remaining resistance or hidden units attempting to regroup. Interior analysts in Kiev discuss the political implications. A retreat of this scale is not just a battlefield event, it challenges Kremlin narratives. Short updates mention that Russian state media is struggling to control the messaging, shifting between describing the retreat as tactical and avoiding the topic entirely. International observers react with cautious optimism, noting that Ukraine's counteroffensive momentum is stronger than many had predicted. Back to the exterior, medics enter recently fought-over areas, offering assistance to civilians affected by the conflict. Small groups of residents emerge from shelters, describing nights of uncertainty as the sound of withdrawal and advancing forces echoed around them. Ukrainian soldiers distribute water and provide basic guidance on safe areas. It's a moment that reminds viewers that behind the geopolitics and military strategy are thousands of human lives uprooted and reshaped. Interior conversations shift to the next phase, stabilizing Pokrovsk and preparing defenses in case of counterattacks. Officers discuss short-term defensive lines, placement of anti-drone systems, and the rotation of fresh units into the city. Every interior note remains brief, focused, and practical, the kind of communication that keeps complex operations running smoothly. The exterior camera returns to a wide aerial shot. The scale of the Russian retreat is more visible now. Long stretches of deserted positions, vehicles scattered, pathways carved by hurried movement. Smoke rises in the distance as its attempt to destroy equipment they can't take with them. Ukrainian forces continue to advance with precision, maintaining distance between units to avoid ambushes. Interior sources report that intercepted messages confirm widespread confusion among Russian troops. Some units believe they are to hold their positions, others think they are ordered to withdraw, and still others have not heard from their commanders in hours. The short updates convey a sense of fragmentation that military analysts describe as one of the most dangerous situations an army can face. Exterior footage shifts to Ukrainian armored vehicles entering the outskirts of settlements surrounding Pokrovsk. Children wave from windows, elderly residents cautiously approach, expressing relief mixed with exhaustion. Soldiers remain alert, watching intersections and clearing buildings quickly but carefully. The sense of liberation is present everywhere, but so is the understanding that the conflict is far from over. Interior deliberations now discuss securing humanitarian aid corridors and coordinating with local administrative teams. Short reports emphasize restoring electricity, water, and communication networks. Ukrainian officials outline steps to re-establish essential services and stabilize the region. The exterior scene grows more dramatic as Ukrainian forces push toward key highways. These routes are critical not only for future operations, but because they represent the last potential escape paths for Russian troops stranded in the region. Drones capture convoys attempting to move eastward, only to be forced back or rerouted due to damaged roads or advancing Ukrainian units. Interior messages mention that Russia is trying to rush reinforcements from farther east, but terrain and logistical challenges are slowing them significantly. Ukraine's command understands the importance of maintaining pressure, but emphasizes avoiding overextension, a lesson learned from earlier stages of the war. Exterior updates show Ukrainian artillery taking positions outside Pokrovsk, adjusting their targeting systems, and preparing to support advancing ground units. Infantry squads move behind them, checking for unexploded ordnance and ensuring safe movement. The coordination is tight, the movements efficient. Interior conversations between commanders highlight the importance of maintaining the morale of troops who have been fighting continuously. Short notes mention scheduled rotations, rest periods, and the psychological support teams ready to help soldiers decompress after intense operations. Exterior footage captures the full impact of the retreat. Russian strongpoints, once heavily fortified, now stand empty. Ukrainian flags rise across liberated zones as engineers clear roads and front-line units continue pushing forward. Reporters embedded at safe distances describe the atmosphere as one of controlled urgency. Victory in this area is significant, but every gain must be secured quickly. Interior sources confirm that the liberation of Pokrovsk is already influencing other sectors of the front. Russian units farther south are adjusting their positions, unsure whether Ukraine will exploit this momentum. Short updates indicate that Ukrainian High Command is analyzing multiple scenarios, but keeping plans confidential. Exterior shots now show sunset over the city. Paratroopers rest briefly, rechecking equipment and sharing quick meals before the next phase. The skyline, once marked by uncertainty, now carries the signs of a city returning to life. Vehicles roll through, and Ukrainian flags hang from balconies. Interior reflections from Kiev note that this moment, while significant, is part of a long and exhausting campaign. Short messages emphasize resilience, discipline, and the need for continued international support. The exterior scene ends with a powerful moment. A Ukrainian soldier standing on a rooftop overlooking Pokrovsk, the wind hitting the flag beside him. The city lights flicker back on in the distance. The liberation is complete, but the road ahead remains long. This is the story of how Ukrainian paratroopers liberated Pokrovsk, how a sudden retreat reshaped the battlefield, and how tens of thousands of Russian troops found themselves stranded in a situation Moscow did not foresee. The war continues, but this moment will be remembered as a turning point, a testament to strategy, courage, and the unpredictable nature of conflict.